Sound of Metal is a new drama that is now streaming on Amazon Prime. This is a film that was directed by Darius Motter. I'm pretty sure I got his first name right. I'm pretty sure I got his last name wrong, but you know, that's what you guys would expect by now. This film stars Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cooke. It is streaming on Amazon Prime right now. It just came out on Friday, so if you guys have not seen this movie, I would highly recommend you check it out. The story in here follows Riz Ahmed, who is a very, very charismatic and talented drummer. He is currently touring the United States with his girlfriend, who he is in a band with. They make a pretty good team. His girlfriend is a pretty good singer, and she sings the songs, and he drums the drums, and everybody seems to like them. But all of a sudden, Riz Ahmed's character gets to a point where he starts to lose his hearing. It just kind of happens. It's very gradual, and then it's very sudden. As you can imagine, this complicates things for both him and for his girlfriend and for everything that they're doing in general. And as they said in Fresh Prince, his life got flipped, turned upside down. Did not know anything about this movie other than I did see the trailer and I was like, oh, Riz Ahmed, and oh, it involves drumming. And that's really all I knew. I saw the drumming and I saw Riz Ahmed and I immediately put two and two together and said, well, clearly this is probably gonna be like Whiplash. I love Whiplash. I'm probably gonna like this movie. Riz Ahmed is a very underrated actor who I have really loved for a lot of years. I think the first time I really started to notice him was in Nightcrawler. I thought he was great in Nightcrawler. By the end of this video, I think I will have accomplished two things. Number one, the first one is convincing you that this movie is not Whiplash. Do not go into this movie thinking that this is Whiplash. You will walk out very disappointed because they are two very different and contrasting styles. Both movies are character studies in a sense, but Whiplash was much more of a psychological battle of wills. It was a little bit more fast-paced. This movie is a character study, but it's a lot more introspective. It's a lot more personal, definitely not as fast-paced. Second thing is that if Riz Ahmed was underrated in my eyes going into this movie, then by the end of the video, my job is to convince you that he's overrated, because that's how much I'm going to talk about him in this video. And that's how much I'm going to praise his performance in this movie, because this is without a doubt one of the greatest performances that I've seen in 2020 and one of the greatest performances of Riz Ahmed's career. It's spectacular stuff, man. He owns the screen. He owns every single frame, and make no doubt about it, this is his movie, okay? He takes up majority of the screen time, and every single scene, you're captivated. You want to see what he's going to do next, what he's going to say next, what he's going through. Tremendous performance that really captures the ups and downs and all of the tidal wave of emotions that this character is feeling, as one of the things that he took for granted in his life, his hearing, is slowly taken away from him. He captures all of the emotions on that scale, but then you also realize that this is a great performance that is compounded by great character work. This is a very flawed yet complex, complicated human being, and you get to see all of that on Front Street in this movie. The depiction of him losing his hearing and him having to try to learn sign language and other things to cope, I thought all of that was handled really well. The portrayal of not just him being deaf, but also the deaf community in this movie as a whole. I thought it was all great stuff. I've talked to and been friends with a lot of people in the deaf community. They have told me that this portrayal is spot on. It's very accurate for the most part. Not only does it shine a light on addiction, and not just the addiction that you deal with that affects you, but how it affects the people around you, even in small, subtle ways that you might not realize. It's not just Riz Ahmed that kills it. Everybody else in this movie fucking kills it too. The performances are all outstanding. Olivia Cooke is his girlfriend in this movie. She's terrific. She actually is not in the movie as much as you would think, but there are some small, subtle things with her performance and with her character that you do pick up on as the movie goes on. It's amazingly directed. It's got excellent cinematography. There's kind of a gritty, almost handheld quality to some of the camera work. Not gonna lie, some of the camera work and some of the shots in this movie reminded me of Blind Spotting. I'm not entirely sure why, but it was just, I don't know, it had that urban feel to it. You know what I mean? The sound design, my God, the sound design in this movie. Some of the best sound mixing and sound design that you're gonna hear all year. When the sounds sound the way that they do in this movie, you really do feel it. Not only is the sound heartbreakingly authentic and real, every little sound in this movie is enhanced and emphasized to really show you the different perspectives that people who are deaf or losing their hearing really do hear on a daily basis. It shows you what they hear and shows you what their world is like, but at the same time, continues to show you the perspective of people who have no idea what that life is like. I was blown away. This is an engrossing character study. You're on this journey. It's not really about where they're going in this movie. It's not really about any of the extra stuff. It's not about the drums. It's about this journey with this character that you are all the way on board with throughout the entire film. I do have to warn you people though that it is not a very fast-paced movie. I mean, sometimes it moves along at a pretty good pace, but sometimes it feels a little bit slow. I wasn't bored, but I definitely felt a little bit restless at times, and I feel like some people who like something a little bit more fast-paced, something that's going to get them going a little bit faster, I feel like some people aren't going to be patient enough for the journey to really take shape. The issue I have is actually more of a nitpick. It's like the ending of this movie, and no spoilers, but it's a beautiful ending that makes perfect sense, but it also ends very abruptly. So on the one hand, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was perfect. I love the way this movie ended. But then on the other hand, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Where's the rest of it? I wanted to see more. I could have used like 5 or 10 more minutes of movie, and then it just ends. Like, okay, kick me out the club early. Sure, why don't you? Sound of Metal is one of the best movies of 2020, and it absolutely deserves the highest this channel has to offer, Superman Prime. Those are my thoughts on Sound of Metal. Please check this movie out if you haven't already, and if you have seen it, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.